given 5 minutes to solve this challenge here. And what the challenge is asking us to do is we're given a sentence and we're to try and find the word with the highest scoring value. And the way the value is calculated is based upon each letter in the word. So every letter is assigned a value from A to Z. So A equaling 1, B equaling 2, all the way to Z, which equals 26. So now we have to find the word in this sentence that has the highest accumulation of letters together. So how I'll go about this, I'll first create a variable, a dictionary, and this will store the value of each letter. I will now create a counter variable, which will be used to assign the value for each letter. Now I'll use a for loop. So for I in range, I'll use the ORD method to get the ASCII value of each letter in the alphabet. So from A to Z. And then because we're using an index, I'm gonna add +1 at the end of this. Boom. Now we're getting the ASCII value of each letter in the alphabet. I want to convert this to a letter. So using the character method, I'll pass in the I in the character method, and this will give us the letter. This will give us every letter in the alphabet from A to Z. What I will now do is I will now assign the value into the alphabet dictionary, like so. And I'll use counter as a value store. I will now increment counter by 1. So we can assume that the way it works is we're starting with A will equal 1, and then incrementing counter by 1 again. B will then equal 2, and then C will equal 3, and so on. Cool. So we have our alphabet. We have the letters of the alphabet stored in the alpha dictionary plus its corresponding value. Now we're going to create another for loop for word in x.split. We're going to split the sentence that we're given into individual words. Using the word, what we're going to do is we're going to create a temporary value store. This will store the value for each individual word in the cycle temporarily. And I'm going to create another variable for the highest value and another for the highest value word. Cool. And now what we're going to do now for each cycle, for index letter in, we're going to use the enumerate method here, which allows us to get the index of each cycle of the loop. I'm going to pass in word into this for loop. Now in this for loop here, I'm going to use using the temp value store that we have, I'm going to assign the value to plus equal the current letter within the word, the current letter's value within the word that we're iterating over, like so, right? And now we're going to check to see if we are at the end of the for loop. So if index equals length length word -1. So if we are at the end of this word in the for loop, and temp value, the variable that's holding the temporary value for the current word that we're in, if the value is greater than the highest value variable that we have here, if it's greater than, we then assign the temporary value to the highest value. And I should probably name this a lot. I should probably give this a better name, but just for the sake of time. And then we now want to also add the word with the highest value, which in this case will be, we can then assign it to this variable here. And finally, we return the word with the highest scoring value, like so. And if we attempt